TG Geeks, episode 71, May 2nd, 2016. Nice lady, scary CEO. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery. Sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane, and we're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in almost storming Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from, but there is smoke coming through my headphones because I can't think of a single thing to say, Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, we have another interview from somebody from Beyond the Impact, so let's just get right to it. And this week we have with us Ms. Sherri Migdol. She is another actress from Beyond the Impact, and she plays Danielle Conrad, the CEO of Crow Corp. Hello, Sherri, and welcome to the show.
Hello, and thank you very much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah,
it's nice to be able to talk to you. I mean, as we keep referring back to, we were down in San Diego, and we got to interview many of the cast, but we were so sad that the scariest woman in movies that I've ever seen in my life.
Well,
that's lovely.
Except for Canberra.
The fembot.
Canberra's scary too.
I don't know. Canberra is she's a fembot, but Shari, Danielle, that woman just makes me want to do all sorts of unsavory things in my pants as I'm watching her.
Yeah, it's fun to get to play that. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, everybody said that you were nothing like your character.
It's pretty hilarious because I'm actually probably one of the nicest people ever.
I've heard that.
I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I have animals. So it's great to be able to get out of my element and get to portray someone who is a little bit scary.
Yeah, kind of sinister, I think, is a great word.
That's a good word.
Okay, I'll go with that word.
So tell us, who is Sherri Migdol, and how did you happen on BTI and the whole acting thing,
right?
Yeah. So tell us about you.
Well, of course, when you're growing up as a child, when you're laying around staring up at the clouds, you say to yourself, "I really wish I could be a salesperson when I grow up."
No, you don't. No, you don't.
Or a boss or a manager. And so, I went to school. I got my degree in art history at UC Santa Cruz and did all the responsible things and became a boss and got into sales and did all that fun stuff. But deep down inside, when I was really looking up at the clouds, wishing to the heavens, I said I really would love to be an actress. And so after I had children and raised them, for the most part, they're pretty fully cooked, did all that stuff. My husband, as fabulous and wonderful as he is, gave me a gift of 1 month of acting classes and said, "Why don't you go do what you've always wanted to do?"
Oh,
wow.
That is so awesome.
Cool. That is really cool.
He's pretty spectacular and supportive and loving. And so I went and did that, and the rest is history. I started taking classes and just absolutely fell in love all over again with the whole process, and ended up meeting David Wagner, who is involved in this project, and he said, "You know what? I think you should come audition for this role." And
wow.
I got lucky enough to come audition for Jeff and David, and in fact, they weren't really sure about me at first, and so I had to come back and do it again and convince them that I was really, truly the Danielle Conrad they were looking for.
Aha. Well, probably because you were so nice and they couldn't believe. How did she?
Yeah, you know what?
How did
I
she
think
turn on this mean stuff?
Yeah, they had someone else actually originally for the role, and she had to bow out of the project. And so I think he just had he had a different vision in mind. And so when I came in, I changed his vision of what Danielle was going to be.
Ooh, interesting.
Kind of like
Yeah,
that.
that was pretty phenomenal for me to actually get to shape her a little bit.
Something really funny about how so many of the cast, not just the current cast for Beyond the Impact, but the next cast, with all the pilots and all that, how they all come from acting classes, how that's how they're all recruited. I would imagine that really creates an enormous sense of family. I'm very amused by this, that Jeff was able to tap such an enormous resource in this way.
Yeah, it's a pretty wonderful group of people that we've got on this project. And even though San Diego is a pretty small market, there's a lot of us actors out there that are just passionate about it. And luckily we all have come together and have indeed created a really wonderful little family here on this project.
So tell us who Danielle Conrad is, and tell us her story, and tell us what you can tell us about her. Okay.
Not a whole lot. She is really a mystery to everyone.
Yeah.
And she's a mystery to me in a lot of ways, but I like that about her because I'm always struggling. And I think that she's always struggling to figure out who she is and what she is,
Right.
So I love her mystery. But I think that she's really troubled, and I think that she's not really sure of a lot of things in her life. And so I think she does a lot of things that maybe she knows she shouldn't.
Yeah.
So Jeff hasn't really given you a lot of background on your character then?
Absolutely not.
Jeff, I'm shocked.
No, and that's good.
But it's
really?
a good thing, yeah.
I like it. Well, because I have to, and I don't want to give too much about her away because you haven't seen too much of her.
Not yet.
No.
Yeah. So I want to keep her a mystery, and I think it's important.
Yeah, but what we have seen, it is kind of scary. I mean, she's the CEO of this big, huge corporation that has something going on that we're not real sure about, but it's a mystery in itself, and she rules with an iron fist.
Oh,
right?
She rules with iron scissors. I mean, let's be real. When when Danielle is like reading someone, I mean, and I'm talking, 3 snaps, I'm really reading you. It's like visual castration. I mean, she's tough. Yes.
I am firm in a nutshell. I mean, such a fun character to play, it's so unlike me. So it's just, to me, it's hilarious. I love it when we're done with a scene and everyone looks at me with these wide eyes. Like, oh my God, you're so scary. And then they go, no, you're not.
Everybody just kind of runs away. It's like, don't look at her. Don't look at her in the eyes. You'll turn to stone.
Right. And it's fun to have that kind of power. And I think that's what Danielle loves. Danielle feeds off of that feeling of just ultimate power
and total control.
She needs it.
Right. But
interesting.
She's also got this thing that they're trying to control, I suppose, and that in itself is a lot of power. So she's controlling the whole message. She's controlling everything about whatever is BTI.
So the whole idea of her being able to control, is this something that you were able to insert into the character?
Yes.
That's a good call, in my opinion, because I get the sense that with things slowly kind of like slipping through her fingers, that we're seeing. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like we're seeing more of, I think, Danielle's true colors come through.
Yeah.
Wow.
My background, I've been in charge. I've been the CEO, and I've spoken to large groups of people, and I've managed people, and there have been moments where I could be accused of being a little Danielle Conrad-ish, but not to that extent, obviously. But I did have some background in it, so I was able to really pull from that and then expound upon it, like really develop it and make it, like you said, a little more sinister as opposed to just being firm.
Yeah, so you were comfortable standing there in front of a boardroom of people and being able to shut them down whenever
that was
necessary.
How I got my acting out. You know what I mean? I got to speak, and so that's where that comes from. I got to be in the spotlight in my own weird sort of way by being a boss.
Right.
Yes, but as far as Danielle goes, as we've all agreed, there's a sinister characteristic to her. How did you find that in order to bring that to the surface and give it some honesty to the role?
Yeah. The beautiful thing about working with Jeff is, I think as a first-time director with a bunch of newbies, we all really had to trust one another and work really closely with one another. And so he was a huge guiding force in helping me get there. He did a great job of really giving me the right direction. And for me, just watching the other characters react to me, sort of like Danielle, it fed into that. And so then I could get even deeper and deeper into that evilness that she has inside, her dark, dark heart,
Yeah, so it was really interesting. We kind of saw two sides of her character. One was the one in the boardroom. Well, actually, three sides of the character. One in the boardroom, one with Canberra, and the other side with the FBI. And,
Agent Shepard.
Yeah, so we saw three different sides. You see the CEO that shuts down the government guys and said, basically tells the government to piss off. But
right.
And then we see that very controlling manager of you.
Super micromanaging.
Yeah, you better control this thing. And why did you take that responsibility on when it's mine type of thing with Canberra, which was that was probably scarier. I think Ben thinks that your castration of Agent Shepard is scary.
that was hilarious. I mean,
I love that scene.
That scene where you're really just like you're stripping him with your words, and I love how Travis just took his hands and covered his privates, shall we say. I mean, that was such a wonderful scene. I mean, I didn't catch it at the beginning, but on subsequent reviewings, I saw that. I thought, wow, she really just castrated Shepard. I love it.
I love that scene.
It's a fantastic scene.
But I think your interaction with Canberra, and I want to talk about that.
That's the most telling.
That one is where you really see the real scary part of Danielle. So tell us how you work with Canberra and how that you play off of each other and what's going on there. What is that dynamic that they have going on?
Right. Well, it's funny in real life, in actuality, Canberra is a doll.
Yeah, she is.
Yes, she really is a sweetheart.
And so I kind of look at her like a daughter, because could be old enough to be her mom. And so I sort of, when we got to know each other, I really saw her as like a child figure to me. And so I think that when I was delving into the character, I kind of saw myself as a bit of a mommy dearest.
You're Joan Crawford.
Yeah, kind of. Like I just sort of saw that dynamic where you're going to do exactly as I say when I say it.
And no wire hangers.
Right. Well, you never know what happens behind the scenes at Crow Corp.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
So tell us about the behind the scenes at Crow Corp.
What can you tell us?
What are you hiding?
Well, I'm not allowed to say much other than it's going to be a wild ride, these next episodes. You guys are going to have a lot of fun watching it.
How far have you gone into production and in terms of your own character development in the story? How far has that gone so far?
Not a tremendous amount. Just he gives me little tiny tastes and tidbits, little morsels to sort of feed my interest, and because it hasn't gotten to my turn yet. So
so you haven't.
He's very good at keeping it all under wraps, and but whets my appetite, which is great.
So, what can we expect from Danielle? I mean, as far as any development of her character, does she go darker? Does she?
Yeah, you're gonna see some new stuff from Danielle Conrad for sure, and I think that it's gonna be shocking, and I think it's gonna be surprising.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's fun. I am so looking forward to filming because it's gonna be a huge challenge for me.
Indeed.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
So, in terms of working on the character of Danielle and developing her, how much time have you personally invested in creating this role, in creating a believable character that people see on the screen? How long have you been working at that character?
Over a year.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, a long time. I've been living with Danielle for a while.
Wow.
is she getting to the point where you're beginning to hear her voice in your head?
Yeah, and the really scary thing is when I see her face in the mirror.
Oh dear. Oh my.
I'll catch a glimpse of myself and go, "Holy smokes!"
Wow.
Yeah, I have moments.
Yeah. Well, in a way, maybe this is a good thing. I mean, it gives you an easier resource to tap into when you're in front of the camera. But wow, I could see some definite need for therapy when this is all over.
Yeah, don't
My
lose
kids
yourself.
might say the same thing. No.
Yeah, don't lose yourself.
This is therapy. That's the beautiful thing about it. You know, you get to do all this stuff.
Get to do all this mean stuff that you never get to do, huh?
Yeah. Do you find something really cathartic about being able to tap into your darker nature?
Absolutely. Because I've always felt the need to be a people pleaser and very sweet and accommodating. And so this has been a great opportunity for me to get to do things I would never, ever in my life allow myself to do.
So you get to be in charge.
Yeah. But not only in charge, but just dark.
Oh yeah. I mean, she really. It's just. It is frightening to see her interact with other people. It's like, does she have any friends? You know,
There's cracks in there. There are cracks in there, guys, and she definitely has a vulnerable, sad
yes.
side. You know,
And you can see that too. I mean, you get glimpses of it, but you get that she's in her control.
She's terribly lonely. I mean,
Yeah.
she's just a terribly lonely person.
Yeah, in that control, she's afraid she's going to lose that control, and you can see that, and you play that really well.
You got to build the walls up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, what other ways have you managed to prepare yourself for the part? Because Danielle, I mean, even with just the little bit of exposure that we've had with her, there's clearly a lot of layers. You know, and that's why I was sort of surprised to find out that Jeff didn't give you a lot of background on her character, because she really does come off as fully formed. So,
well, no, I definitely, I am of the belief of developing a whole backstory for myself. I have a whole journal. I know about her family. I know about her childhood. I know about all of her deep, dark secrets. And
okay, so since this go, I would say that all falls outside of the spoiler territory. What kind of background did you give her?
only child.
Only child. Okay. Controlling parents,
not,
I would imagine.
Not a real happy childhood. Alcoholic mother.
Wow.
Absentee father.
Uh-huh.
And some death. I don't want to get into too much detail,
Right. So
because it's really a personal. Because I don't want.
Right. Right. And I understand that. So it's really kind of a
It's really for me inside to understand how she is, how she became the person that she is.
Yeah.
I find this purely from a psychological standpoint. I find that endlessly fascinating, especially in the respect that you're protective of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's very method.
It's extremely method.
It's very method.
Yeah, a little
acting.
bit.
I'm very impressed. I don't know anybody who's actually developed a backstory to that degree.
Wow.
And then to feel this emotional protectiveness towards it, it's just really it's fascinating.
It's funny when I talk about it. Sometimes I really just want to cry,
Oh wow.
and I do, and I have, and so it's good.
Well,
She's definitely a piece of me right now.
Yeah, it helps you to play her and to be her whenever you step on set.
It gives you an excellent opportunity. I mean, you've got an awesome resource now within you to tap into that, and then to put on that skin.
Right.
That is Danielle.
And that's definitely what you have to do. You have to step, and part of it too is, as you say, the skin, the uniform of Danielle, the shoes of Danielle. How Danielle carries herself is very different. I wear Adidas and jeans and, flats, and Danielle is very much pumps and suits, and she's all pent up and tied up.
Yeah.
You know?
And an occasional heel whenever she wants to really be superior.
Yeah. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
So when you're not busy being Danielle,
mm-hmm.
what are some of the things that you like to do as Sherri?
Well, obviously studying acting is critical. I love it. It just feeds my soul. I love to read. Cooking. I am a huge cook. I love.
Okay, next time we're in San Diego, you and Keith need to get together and have a tete-a-tete because he loves cooking as well.
Iron Chef, it's on.
Oh,
of course.
Yeah. Oh, you'll probably win.
Cooking is a love it. That's how I unwind. My husband says he's the luckiest guy on the earth because when I want to relax, I bake stuff. So
wow.
He feels really happy.
Yeah,
I can relate.
I love to cook, and Ben's mom, she's many times will say, come over for dinner, we'll do your birthday or whatever, or I'm going to cook for Thanksgiving. She says, no, I don't want you to do that. You need to relax, and you need to, do all this. And it's like, I want to cook.
Yeah.
I need to cook.
People who are really good and enjoy cooking have this need to want to do that because it helps them relax, and at the same time they get their own personal their own sense of
very
reward
satisfying.
For it. Yeah.
So what is your favorite thing to cook? I mean, for let's say you're having some friends over for dinner.
I like trying new things, so and it's fun.
Yep.
It's fun to try new vegetarian dishes.
Oh, okay.
I just tried a new one with tofu, and it was fabulous. So
wow,
it's just fun to experiment, and I like just throwing stuff in and just seeing what happens.
Well, Keith is very good at that too, but he also experiments in that he pretty much with most dishes never cooks the same thing the same way twice.
Yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately,
yeah, it always comes out a little bit different.
Well, it's always I'm a seat of my pants cook.
Whatever's in the cupboard.
Yeah.
That's
I
fun.
think, and I have this weird thing is I can taste things in my head.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, you can't do that. Well, yeah, I know. Oh, that would taste really good with that.
Yes.
I love flavor combination, so it's.
Yeah, I did a great pasta dish with fresh tomato and carrot and ginger and garlic.
Ooh.
Okay, you had me at garlic.
Wow.
Yeah, the big pappardelle noodle. It was wonderful.
I never thought of putting ginger.
Ginger and carrot and tomato is a beautiful combo with the garlic.
That sounds really floral.
Yeah, it was lovely.
Yeah, so the ginger kind of takes the place of what basil would, or so, and
there was basil in there too, but it just
was there?
gave
Okay.
a nice little spice and kick, but a sweetness too.
Yeah, the ginger, that would be, wow, that sounds really good.
Giving him ideas
I
now.
have to try that. I love, it's like, ooh, that's a wild flavor together.
Yeah, well, like I said, next time we're down and we get a chance to meet you, you two just really need to just sit down and take notes.
Yeah.
We'll have a glass of wine and we'll cook.
I'll be there just to watch.
You gotta have a glass of wine when you're cooking.
I am so with you on that one.
Or a martini.
We're going
I'll
to
give you the
cook
wine.
with wine today.
Yeah, thank you, Julia.
Yep, that's me.
Exactly. So,
okay, I guess my last question would be, do you have a presence on social media? If somebody wants to learn more about you and anything that you're doing, whether it's a role that you're cooking. I didn't mean to put it that way. A role that I'm cooking. Yeah, I didn't mean to put it that way. But a role that you're working on, or if you're just blogging away about the latest wonderful culinary creation you just came up with, is there some way for people to follow you and what you do?
Well, obviously you can go to Etched Motion. You can go to the BTI Facebook page. I'm on Facebook. I don't really tweet. And I don't really Instagram. I don't know. I've never been a huge techie. I do have a website, sherrimigdol.com. I don't have a whole lot on there, but I'll be working on it.
Cool.
Yeah, that'd be a great place to really blog about what wonderful foods you might be experimenting with.
That's a great idea.
Hey, yeah. And,
that's right out of Julie and Julia.
Yeah, exactly. And your travails with Danielle Conrad.
Well, not just that, but also some of the ways that you approach other acting roles, because based on what you've shared with us in terms of how you've created Danielle, also in terms of how you formed her and all that, and plus your love of acting. I think a lot of people would be very interested to see some of your thought process without going too personal, but some of the process that you go through in terms of creating new characters that you find exciting to play.
All right. That sounds lovely. I would love to do that.
All right. Well, thank you, Sherri Migdol from Beyond the Impact, for joining us today on the show.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Patricia Chica, director-producer of Morning After.
And I'm Christian Hotko, writer and actor of Morning After. And you're listening to the Two Gay Geeks podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And if anybody's ever listened to this show, you know that is our birthday music. All right. Here are a few selected birthdays for May 2nd through May 8th, 2016. May 2nd, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Interesting that you should have this, or that his birthday should be now, because we got a story about him coming up.
I know. It was kind of interesting. He's kind of been in the news. So also on May 2nd, Christine Baranski and Theodore Bickel. And a very special birthday.
Yes, to the Bionic Geek.
Yes, Roy Roberts, the Bionic Geek.
Happy birthday, Roy.
May 3rd, Bing Crosby and Niccolo Machiavelli.
That sounds rather ominous.
Yeah. May 4th, Audrey Hepburn and Roberta Peters. Now, we've talked about
her. I didn't know she did Broadway, or she did comedy, like Mel Brooks movies. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Bernadette Peters.
Yes, Roberta Peters was an opera singer, and he kind of stepped all over what I was going to say.
I'm sorry. What was that?
But that's okay. We had been talking about Bernadette Peters sometime in the past, and I was driving around and I was listening in Med Opera Radio, and then there's this commercial and it says, "Hi, I'm Roberta Peters for Med Opera Radio," and I thought, I didn't know that she sang opera, and then it was like. A month or so went by. I heard that heard that several times, and then I thought, "Oh no, it's not Roberta Peters. It's Bernadette Peters that I was thinking about." Anyway,
so glad that it was you and not me, because that sounds like something that would have happened to me.
Some kind of brain aneurysm there. Anyway, also on May 4th, Lance Bass. May 5th, Henry Cavill.
Yeah. Wow. Great Superman. Loved him in Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yep. Oh, he was great. And also May 5th, John Rhys Davies and Michael Palin. Also, we have Pat Carroll. We met Pat Carroll.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, she's kind of at least famous in our circles for doing
Ursula,
the Sea Witch in Little Mermaid. Also, May 5th, Lance Henriksen, Roger Rees, and a friend of ours, Michael A. Evans.
Yes.
And
your nephew.
My nephew, Andy Hill. Or Andrew Hill.
Andrew,
yes. May 6th, George Clooney, Orson Welles, Willie Mays, Rudolph Valentino, Sigmund Freud, and
friend of the show,
and another Slice of Sci-Fi alum, Brian Brown. Happy birthday, Brian. May 7th, Ava Perón.
Don't cry for me, Ava.
Exactly. David Tomlinson, who was famous for several Disney
A couple
movies.
of Disney films, at least 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I can't remember what the third one is right now.
Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
And Mary Poppins. I think he did another one.
There was another one. I can't remember what it was.
I want to say it's The Three Lives of Thomasina, but I'm not sure.
Maybe. May 7th also, Darren McGavin, Johannes Brahms, and Beth Accomando. She's from Cinema Junkie and also associated with Horrible Imaginings Film Festival in San Diego.
Were you going to say Cinema Gunky?
I don't know what
is that whole GIF thing?
GIF,
Gondor,
yeah.
John Door?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Gackass. Anyway, May 8th. If anybody has seen that,
watch the video. It's hilarious.
You have to see it. Look it up on Facebook.
Yes.
May 8th, Stephen Amell, David Attenborough, Melissa Gilbert, and Oscar Hammerstein. And that is the birthdays for this time on TG Geeks Webcast.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Forget about whether Han shot first. He did. Is it true that Han Solo teamed up with a 6-foot green rabbit? Did Darth Vader profess a devotion to the immortal gods of the Sith? And did Leia's unhealthy attraction to her brother grow for years? Ew. Hi, I'm voice actor Michael Corley, and I want to answer these questions and more on the Voxbox Star Wars Comic Book Podcast. Each Voxbox episode covers classic Star Wars comics, starting with the original Marvel series in 1977 all the way to the present day. So tune in, have some fun, and may the Force be with you at VoxboxPodcast.com.
Go give a listen to our friends at Voxbox Star Wars Podcast. We'll have a link in the show notes for Voxbox. And now, what time is it?
Could it be...
Not the actual time, silly.
Sorry.
It's listener feedback time.
Okay, we just have a few things we want to go over. Just a little bit of feedback, not much this week. First, this is in response to the story we ran last week in our episode where we talked about that there's a new companion for the Doctor Who series and that her name is Bill. Now, since we recorded that episode, you finally had a chance to see the trailer. What was your thought? I see. Okay.
Crickets.
Well, for anybody who doesn't know, we will have the story.
I needed to listen to this.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Exactly.
Relax. Yes. Well, we will have the link for this story in our show notes in case you have no idea what we're talking about Bill, the new companion for the upcoming season of Doctor Who. Oy vey. Anyway, we did get a response from Brian Weber. He posted this on our website, and he simply wrote, "To be honest, I found her kind of annoying in the clip. However, since it was just a teaser clip, I'm going to wait until I see her first full episode to start forming an opinion."
I read that as start foaming an opinion.
Foaming?
Yeah. Foaming at the mouth.
Oh,
exactly.
Okay, a little Freudian slip there.
Yeah.
Now,
speaking of,
now,
didn't I say Sigmund Freud
yeah, exactly.
earlier? His birthday is this week, or did I miss that one?
That was
Yeah, Sigmund Freud.
Sigmund Freud. Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
So now we ran a story last August about how Disney is going to be doing a live Jungle Cruise movie.
Jungle Cruise or Jungle Book?
Jungle Cruise.
Ah.
Jungle Cruise movie starring The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, I guess I didn't read this article.
And this is this is August of last year.
Oh. Huh.
And originally, Disney was going to be doing a story that, or a movie that was going to star Tim Allen and Tom Hanks.
Oh, interesting.
Because they love the chemistry that the two of them have for the Toy Story films, but that kind of fell through. And it was announced at D23 that Dwayne Johnson was going to be a part of this latest Ride 2 movie project, The Jungle Cruise. Now, we'll have the story again for this on our show notes. The producers, I will say the producers for this film are John Davis and John Fox of Davis Entertainment. They did The Man from U.N.C.L.E., as well as John Requa and Glenn Ficarra. They did Focus and Crazy Stupid Love. They're scripting this. And this movie is supposed to be set in the modern day. Or no, originally it was supposed to be set in the modern day, but this new version is going to be a period piece. In any case, this story kind of came around all over Facebook. And Scott Linder decided that he was going to chime in because we posted this story again on Facebook just so that people could then be familiar with what was really going on. And I guess with all of the Jungle Book stuff going on, Scott Linder simply wrote, "He's going to play Baloo," meaning Dwayne Johnson. "Can't wait to hear his rendition of Bare Necessities." Ba-dum-bum.
Where is it? Oh, I've lost it.
You lost it.
Where is? There we go.
Thank you.
I was on the wrong screen.
Yes. Now, last week on our website, we ran the latest trailer for X-Men Apocalypse. This is a 20th century movie that 20th Century, the studios, they dropped the trailer for the upcoming film. And for anybody who doesn't know, the movie is supposed to be coming out May 27th, at least here in the U.S. And again, we'll have the trailer for this, the trailer for X-Men in our show notes. But we had a message from Scott Linder again, because a certain very popular X-Men character bears his claws at the end of the trailer. And Scott wrote, "Ooh, those adamantium claws. Gotta love an appearance by Wolverine." Oh, spoiler, Scott. Thank you. For anybody who didn't know.
Well, you just gave it away.
Yeah,
anyway.
Well, claws could be any. Could be Beast.
Claws.
Nightcrawler. I think he's kind of a little claws. Sandy Claus, yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see Sandy Claus appear in the. I'd like to see a little bit of Tim Burton kind of show up. No, maybe not. Maybe that's a bad idea. Maybe it's a bad idea.
X-Men, Tim Burton.
Oh, dear. Yeah, it could be really, really horrible. Although a Tim Burton Fantastic Four, for 20th Century Fox might save the franchise.
It might redeem
Gotta
it.
think about that one there. Yes. And then lastly, this is in regards to our last week's episode where we interviewed the lovely Jessica Moore.
Yes.
And she responded. She said, "You guys are wonderful. Loved it."
I thought...
and we did too.
I thought Jeff replied or commented as well.
Well, he tagged us in a response.
Okay, yeah.
He didn't actually reply to it. He simply said, "Hey, check this article out that the TG Geeks did." It wasn't in response, but it was mostly aimed at Jessica anyway. So,
okay,
there it is.
Anyway, that's our feedback. We do want to hear from you. You are important to us, our listeners, and our readers. Anybody else? Let us know what you think of the show or the articles we run on the website. Just a reminder, please play nice. We don't want to
can all
edit
behave
or delete your feedback. You can look us up on Facebook as TG Squared Studios or as TG Geeks Webcast, where you can comment on our episodes and articles we publish. You can also comment on our YouTube episodes or at tggeeks.com. Or you could even receive a shout out on a future episode if you call our listener feedback line, or well, anytime you comment, but we'll play your feedback if you call our listener feedback line at 469 TG Geeks. That is 469-844-3357.
Hey, this is Robert Palmer of I'm Alone the Movie,
And Michael Weiss from I Am Alone the Movie.
and you're listening to the Two Gay Geeks.
Well, we got some hot stuff here, and this story just broke as of when we are recording this. Now,
And what is that?
well,
You just told me the
I didn't
headline.
tell you the meat on this. Now, there was a story earlier this week which we didn't cover, but because I didn't care. But that was that the Flash, the movie that Warner Brothers is putting out, lost its director. Well, another Warner Brothers film / DC film may have lost its director over creative differences.
Oh dear.
James Wan, who was slated to direct Aquaman.
Oh dear.
Yes. Now, according to now we will have this story in our show notes. Now, I'm reading this off of Gizmodo right now. According to Birth Movie's Death, Wan is feeling tremendous amount of trepidation about Aquaman. Now, you're going to love this, Keith. Because of the behind-the-scenes wrangling that's been taking place since Batman vs. Superman hit theaters, to sour reviews and a less-than-expected box office take.
Mm-hmm. We were just talking about that.
We were talking about that earlier today. According to the site...
We should just record everything that we talk about.
I know. According to the site, after his work on Furious 7 and this summer's Conjuring 2, he's trying to decide whether or not Aquaman is worth the creative headache that appears to be hitting the DC universe.
Ooh.
Yes, as Justice League has just begun production, and with Suicide Squad about to hit theaters this summer, it will be interesting to see how DC has positioned itself and their cinematic universe. We were talking earlier about how Warner Brothers was really looking at Batman v Superman as their big tentpole film for this entire Justice League franchise, and because the movie so underperformed and just did not do what they expected, that they were going to have to completely rethink their entire schedule.
Yeah.
And here's another casualty.
It's starting. Yeah, and I suspect that some of the wrangling is, we have to make it cheaper. You have to make it cheaper. We have to make it cheaper. I'm sure that's part of the wrangling that's going on with a lot of the films, and I'm sure that we're going to see either some cancellations or, some less than stellar
projects come out.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, some really watered down stuff, all for budgetary reasons.
Absolutely, because they were looking at BVS as being
that was supposed to be a huge money maker.
And I hate to even say this, but I'm sure that the earnings probably, earnings estimates were based on, how that was possibly going to be a blockbuster, and
all the
get hit big time.
Forbes had said that the movie, in order to make a profit, it needed to make over $1 billion.
Wow.
And that seems like a lot of money, but it's not impossible. Movies do that. But it didn't even make $900 million. It's stopped around $850 million at this point. Wow. So it's a wash. And Warner's is right now completely scrambling, and I think James Wan saw the writing on the wall on that. Yeah. So he's backing off. But moving on to the next story, and this is something that Warner's gets right, and that is their direct-to-video animated films.
Interesting.
We just ran last week a trailer for Batman: The Killing Joke, and this is based on the I just love crazy Uncle Alan Moore, because I will say this: the guy can write a story, and Batman: The Killing Joke is considered the definitive movie. Anyway, his story has been animated, and we've got the trailer for that. I would highly recommend.
Check out the article that we
check out the article. Well. It will be in our show notes. And then lastly,
we can do both of these.
We can do both of these.
Yeah, but just
okay. We just ran another viral faux news video of The War of 1996. This is a big multi-marketing promotional thing that 20th Century Fox is doing for Independence Day Resurgence.
Yeah, and we talked something to Russ Emanuel about the little thing that he was doing, is those faux things. So it's kind of interesting.
These are really great marketing gimmicks, and in this particular case, it's just a little fake documentary about what happened in the War of 1996 and brings everybody up to date in time for Independence Day Resurgence. Cool. So I would recommend that people check this out. There's also a very, very funny little video on Earth Day by Jeff Goldblum.
Oh, of course.
I would recommend watching it. It's kind of silly, just as Jeff Goldblum knows how to do it. And then lastly, and this has got a lot of people excited,
Yay.
Punisher, he's getting his own series.
Hooray.
Apparently he was so enormously popular. Well, he was enormously popular before Daredevil Season 2 even aired. Everybody was talking about, oh, Punisher, he's really hot. We need to make a show. Well, he's getting one. We've got the full story on this on our website. That link will be on our show notes. What form it's going to take exactly, nobody really knows because it's still pretty early. We don't even know if he'll actually figure into the Defenders or not because it's too early. We don't know. But as we learn these things, we will share them. But in the meantime, as I said, check out the link on our show notes for this story. And that is what we've got.
And, of course, we have some follow-up items. We now have a calendar on our website for various items, such as birthdays, both celebrity and friends of the show, as well as cons, film festivals, etc. If you know of a con or film festival that needs to be on our calendar, let us know, or a birthday or anniversary or anything important. Let us know. Send us a note. We have also become really huge supporters of independent creators, and as such, we have a new independent film for you to support or think about supporting. Check out the link to the Indiegogo campaign for Morning After, a new film by Patricia Chica and Christian Hodko. It's a movie with a message. You can hear our interview with them via the link in the show notes.
I believe that was episode 68.
68, yes. Please consider supporting independent creators. And a couple of shout-outs to Phoenix Comic-Con. Phoenix Comic-Con 2016 has announced so many great guests recently, it is hard to keep track of them. There are some really great people, and they continue to announce new ones daily. Please keep checking phoenixcomiccon.com for updates. Hotel rooms are still available, and memberships are on sale. As well, Phoenix Comic-Con has announced that FanFest 16 will be October 22nd and 23rd in downtown Phoenix at the Convention Center. More information after the June event. And for you people that are year-round Halloween fans, Keen Halloween returns to Phoenix on September 23rd and 24th at the Convention Center. You can find more information at keenhalloween.com. We will have a link in the show notes.
I got to give a special thanks to the Doctor Who Fancast Guide because they keep posting our stuff. And they have really awesome content as well. And you can see the Fancast Guide by going to Twitter. They are Talking Who, Doctor Who Talking Who on Twitter, and their Twitter handle is @TalkingWho. And good friend of the show, Brian Weber, on Twitter, he is known as Social Justice Scald, and he puts out the Arkle Times Post-Dispatch News, and he runs our stories there as well sometimes. And you can follow him by going to Twitter and finding @Arkle. He also has a presence on Tumblr, and it's the Tumblr. It's the Incorrect Star Trek Voyager Quotes. Check it out. It can be amusing.
Yeah, and we're going to want to give a shout-out, as always, to The Lookie Show. The twins, Sasha and Dagmar, are just fabulous. They're ab-fab.
And the latest ab-fab.
Ab-fab, yes. They give us lots of love on Twitter, @Lookie Show, and catch them on YouTube as The Lookie Show. If you like old movies and semi-campy movie commentary and puppets.
Yes.
This show is for you.
And we must give a special shout out to the Facebook group, The Gay Geek, for allowing us to post our episodes on their page. They are awesome because they have phenomenal content. And everybody there is just genuinely really, really nice. It's such a great group.
It is a great group.
I love to see, whenever I hop on Facebook, I love to see what's there. And must give thanks to the Grand Poobah moderator. His name is Jeremiah Reeves because he's the one who gave us his blessing to post our content there. Thank you, Jeremiah.
Thank you, Jeremiah. We want to say a big, huge thank you to whoever nominated us for a Parsec Award. And what is that, you ask, Grasshopper? Well, they were started a number of years ago for podcasts in the speculative fiction category and are awarded at Dragon Con. For more information, check out parsecawards.com. Once again, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes.
And lastly, we want to say, please check out our Amazon ads that we run at the end of each article. We try to do that to kind of raise a few funds, and, you know, if you would click on them every once in a while, it shows
We'd like it.
Amazon that we're driving traffic to them. And if you don't have to buy anything, just click on them and it will help us. And if you decide to buy something from Amazon,
great.
Use one of our links. Thank you very much. Up next week,
something very unusual.
Yeah, very unusual for us. We're going to be doing a joint podcast with Mr. Kenneth Rotter from Dumbbells and Dragons.
For people who don't know who he is
Jeannie Cox's
son-in-law.
Son-in-law. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And he sought us out, so awesome.
Well, she kind of put us together.
Well, that helped.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for the Webcast episode. We are going to have several links as always. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com. Or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357. From TG Squared Studios, I am Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. I bid you peace.
Cheers.